What's up, guys? Joe here, the man who buried Richie Aprile on a hill overlooking a river surrounded by pine cones. And I'm here to talk about UFC Fight Night, Rodriguez versus Lemos. And it was a card where basically everyone missed weight. I think it was a record 4 people missed weight. And, but you know what? This card I thought was going to be pretty rough. It wasn't bad at all. It was pretty solid, actually. Good amount of finishes. Some great stuff going on. But you know, enough talk. Let's get to the fights. And in our main event, Marina Rodriguez, who, in my opinion, I thought should have gotten a title shot already. I thought she should have got the title shot next week. But she's taking on Amanda Lemos. And I honestly, going into this fight, I fully expected another Marina Rodriguez win. And I thought she would be #1 contender off meritocracy again. And then get jumped by someone else down the line. I honestly expected that. But instead, something a little different happened. So let's rewind back, though. I'm getting ahead of myself. So let's go to the first round. First round. Good round, back and forth, very close round, I thought, for the most part. The power of Lemos was definitely the big factor, I felt, in the fight. She had just had more oomph on her shots. She definitely had the power advantage for sure. But close round until Lemos tried to get the fight to the ground. She got reversed. Rodriguez was on top. Got a head control, was trying to get like something going, trying to land a little bit of ground and pound, but just no luck. And she rides the route on top. Good reversal. I give her the round based on the reversal. And I thought she was doing still pretty well in the striking. Second round, though, Lemos is starting to take momentum back. Her power is starting to give her some success. Her counter shots are having success. She's pushing the pace well. Definitely a second round for her, in my opinion. Third round. Now, here's the big one. So we have to talk a little bit about this. I saved some time for this. Big counter right hand for Lemos lands. On the crown, like right here, on Marina Rodriguez. And it hurts Rodriguez a little bit, but okay. You know, it's on the crown. I'll explain why I bring that up later. So Lemos goes for a flying knee. Misses, no dice. Pushes her to the cage after the miss, and there she lands a huge left hook, just boom, clean. I loved it. Good right hand right afterwards, and Rodriguez is definitely hurt, and she's swarming, you know, on Rodriguez's guard. Rodriguez is defending well. Then they just stop it. Okay, so I don't like the stoppage, and I always want to be on the safer side for fighters. I always advocate for that, but I still have to have a hard disagree on this one. So the initial shot was the right hand on the crown. So that hurts. It's going to sting. It's going to suck. Because you're still hitting the head. You can still cause concussions. You can still cause some trauma there. But it's most likely going to hurt Lemos more. I'm very curious how Lemos' hand, because adrenaline, everything like that going, how her hand is after that right hand. Because it was clean. And it was as Rodriguez is stepping in, and then the right hand comes, causing that car crash effect that we all know. But then after that she goes for the flying knee. But the flying knee misses, like big whiff on the flying knee, just not enough distance. But she lands the push afterwards. Okay, it doesn't really do anything. But then that left hand lands clean, like I said before, super good left hand. And then that right hand afterwards, she's hurt. And then obviously the shots after that were just on the guard, and they stop it. And it kind of felt like that whole Aspen Ladd thing, where Aspen Ladd would start screaming as she's on top, landing ground and pound, and the ref's like, oh my god, she's killing her, and just stops it, even though the chick was probably fine. I kind of rang true of that. I'm not going to use any terms to describe that. I don't want to try to, you know, say anything too, like, damning, I guess would be the word. You know, make accusations or anything like that. I just think it was a bad stoppage. And that happens. That happens. Mark Goddard's a great ref. I believe it was Mark Goddard, but he made a bad call there, I think, personally. You know, and Rodriguez was stunned, to be fair, but we don't stop fights when a fighter's stunned. We just don't. That said, Lemos was winning the fight, I thought. Very impressed with Lemos in this fight. Very impressed. I haven't been impressed with her in her UFC career so far. And I personally felt like Rodriguez was going to win. Like I said, get jumped over for a title shot again. But now here we are. So what do we do with this division now? We're kind of at a standstill. So I've been thinking about it, and I think I have an idea. So Jessica Andrade has already fought Amanda Lemos this year. So why don't we have her fight the loser of next week's title fight? Have Jessica Andrade fight Carla Esparza, or have her fight Weili Zhang. That could be another rematch we see down the line. And then we have Lemos fight Rose, perhaps? I think that could work. I think that could maybe clear some of this little bit of a logjam we have in this division, especially with Joanna gone. Joanna retired, it kind of opens up some avenues we can have for fights. So now let's look at the co-main event, which is Neil Magny versus D-Rod Daniel Rodriguez. And so this fight actually was pretty fun. I actually really kind of enjoyed this fight. So Magny was coming in looking to surpass GSP as the all-time wins leader at welterweight. And D-Rod was looking to prove that he would have won this fight if they made it earlier in the year, because it was planned for earlier this year and it didn't happen. And this was definitely a striker versus grappler matchup to me. So throughout the fight, if they were striking, D-Rod's jab is just kind of carrying him in a sense. Some good left hands, and he did sting and hurt Magny a couple times with him. But on the ground, Magny's just in total control, landing some big shots, dominant positions, attempting submissions. Definitely back and forth, it felt like. It was just kind of a classic matchup. I think I found it to be fun, I was a little frustrated with the defensive footwork of D-Rod, because every time Magny would pressure forward, D-Rod just kind of go straight back to the cage. So that wasn't very good, but whatever, not every fighter is perfect. It just is what it is. And I actually thought this was a close fight going into the third round. Third round, though, I was kind of thinking D-Rod was winning that third round. Third round, though, Magny gets the grappling going, and after some control, some good shots, he's trying to get things going. He actually nearly gets a Darce choke that is just fantastic. Just tightens it up, had a head and arm choke, basically against the cage, and they kind of went to the ground off of it. And D-Rod taps. That's the fight. Magny now has the record for the most wins in the welterweight division. God, I cannot talk today. Yeah, Magny has the most wins for in UFC welterweight history. Solid fight. I didn't love it, but I really enjoyed it. So does that make sense? How I'm kind of feeling on it. But congratulations to Magny. Fantastic performance, or great record to hold, I think. I always admire that longevity. It's one thing to be great for years and years and years, but not everybody has that ceiling. So being great in just longevity, and for him, the amount of fights he'll have. He had the record for most fights, I think, in a calendar year once, and that's fantastic. A+, man. Congrats. And for D-Rod, that's 2 losses in a row. As far as I'm concerned, the Leech beat him. But maybe we can run that fight back. I think that's probably where I would go with those two. Okay, there's also a good amount of just pretty decent stuff for the rest of the card, so I'm just going to run through it really quick. And Grant Dawson tapped out the infamous Mr. Blonde, famed actor Mark Madsen. And so Twitter was a little defensive on I guess would be the word for the scoring of this fight. Some people were saying Madsen because he got the drop in round 2. People are going to control for Dawson. So I'm gonna put my 2 cents in. I'm gonna put my definitive stamp on this. Dawson won round 2, and of course he got the rear naked choke tap out in round 3. Good job, bud. He ruined it by calling out Tony Ferguson though. 5-fight winning, I'm on a good streak right now. I want to take on the guy who's past his prime 5-fight losing streak. It's not impressive, but I gotta be honest. Miranda Maverick came back to her winning ways with a dominant win over Shanna Young. Great for her, And also, she apparently is getting into the video game UFC 4. I don't like that game, but you know what? Get that money, get that bag. Good job. And Polyana Viana got a quick KO win over, I hope I'm saying the name right, Jin Yu Frey. And it nearly avenges her performance against JJ Aldrich of the Deep. You can go watch one of my old retro reviews to see how I feel about that one. Anyways, that's it for me. And if you truly miss me, of course, don't worry. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to be back next week. I want to recap UFC 281. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. And if you really can't wait that long, it's a pay-per-view week. So I will have another retro review out this week. It's be on the main channel. And I get to review the greatest card ever, in my opinion. UFC 217. I'm pumped. Oh. Anyways, I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you for watching.